Hey, all you lovely people of Trends by Def and YouTube. It's Chris here, and this week we are talking about 5 questions to get to know our hosts of the channel a little bit more. And with that, I'm going to dive right into it. So the first question is, what is your favorite movie? And I'll answer that by just, it's upside down. Ha! Here we go. Harry Potter. I am a complete sucker for Harry Potter. It's one of those series, both the books and the movies. It's something I literally grew up with. I know the first book came out when I was in early elementary. The first movie came out when I was in the fourth grade, and the last movie I think came out when I was a sophomore in college. So I just remember being really sad after going to the last midnight premiere of the Deathly Hallows 2. I'm just feeling like my childhood is like officially over. Um, I also felt that way to a lesser extent with Toy Story 3 when that came out, since I was obsessed with Toy Story when I was younger. Um, and then Toy Story 3 came out when I was in college as well, which I thought was really funny since I literally grew up with Andy since he was a little kid when I was a little kid, and then he was going off to college in the third movie when I was in college. So yeah, I just thought that was also another good movie that I enjoyed. Other movies, this is mostly my high school collection since I have a very small collection of DVDs. So this is pretty much what I enjoyed in high school. First movie being Across the Universe. I liked it because it was kind of a Beatles soundtrack, which you can tell I'm a fan of the Beatles. I also have a poster that I got from the Beatles Museum in Liverpool. Uh, my room is super messy right now, otherwise, I would flip the camera around and show you. Um, yeah, I really like this movie. It's just kind of a across the ocean love story between two people, but I enjoyed it. Other movies I enjoyed. I guess I'm a sucker for soundtracks, so I really like the soundtrack off of Juno. And I also enjoyed Michael Cera's Awkwardness and Ellen Page as well. Um, Other movies I would say is Gran Torino as well. I liked Clint Eastwood in it, and this is the fact that it was filmed in Michigan, which made me happy. Other movies that I don't own that I enjoyed would be Forrest Gump. It's one of those movies that I'd seen snippets of like countless times, but only within the last year I've finally caught the beginning of the movie and been able to watch it start to finish. And now that I finally have, I definitely would put that up there as one of my favorites as well. Other movies, I very rarely go to theaters, so I haven't seen a whole lot of recent movies except for once in a while when I visit my parents. We did go see The Martian together and Zootopia, which I thought both of those movies were really good as well. But I guess I'm just not one to go to theaters very often, as I don't know, I'm cheap or I just forget about it mostly. And I'm content with my Netflix. The second question is, what is your favorite book? Which I know I already answered partially with the Harry Potter series, which is definitely my favorite series by far. Again, just since I grew up with it. Other series I did enjoy was The Hunger Games. I liked reading that. And I also liked One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest when I read that in high school. I think that's more so my inner psych nerd coming out. I like all things that are like psych themed. So that book really caught my attention and stood out to me. But otherwise, I really haven't done a lot of reading, which is kind of sad, to be honest, and something I should get back into, especially since I'll have all this downtime this summer while I'm in recovery. Um, the third question is, what is your dream job when you were 5? I remember being in kindergarten and either wanting to be a police officer or a firefighter. Mostly just because I thought the uniforms that you got to wear were really cool and it looked like a exciting, action-packed job. So I wanted to do it apparently. Neither of those aspirations lasted very long. I also remember wanting to be an astronaut while I was in elementary school, and I wrote a report on it in like the third or fourth grade, saying how I wanted to experience like zero gravity, and go where very few humans have gone before. But that was another thing that didn't last. I honestly still don't know what I want to do with my life career wise at 24, but I figure that is something I'll figure out in time, and I'm not terribly worried about it right now. Um, the next question is, what is your favorite season? Uh, I'll start by saying my favorite months because it's a little hard to pick my favorite season. Well, it is and it isn't. But my favorite months are May and September, even though I'm apparently just developed some early spring allergies that I'm suffering with right now. I still really enjoy this month in September as it's still really warm out and you get to just enjoy being outside, but it's not sweltering heat or humidity much. Um, and yeah, they're just months that I really appreciate, especially coming out of the long, awful West Michigan winters that I'm still getting used to after growing up on the east side of the state. I've learned that lake effect snow is a very real thing and something I absolutely despise, and I'm still getting used to, even though I do love living in Grand Rapids. But I hate the snow and the cold. I don't deal with either of that. If we're going to pick just a straight up season, I would say summer, even though I feel like I haven't been able to properly enjoy summer as much as I did when I was a kid since transitioning, since I haven't been swimming in 4 or 5 years. And I feel very uncomfortable in the summer a lot of the times, binding in the heat or seeing cis guys with their shirts off and feeling jealous and uncomfortable because of that, missing going swimming, and also just feeling self-conscious about the way my clothes fit, seeing like that binder lines in my shoulders and just the way my shirts fall over my chest. But I know that is an issue that'll be resolved in just 3 weeks from today, which is crazy. So I feel like I probably will begin to enjoy summer a lot more now that I will be able to properly enjoy them for the first time in a few years now. The last question is, what is one thing that transition has taught you? For which I will have to agree with Kathy here and say compassion. I've definitely become a lot more compassionate and empathetic person and aware of other people's struggles, be it fellow people in the trans community and their struggles, and wanting to help out the community as much as I can, to also different forms of struggles, be it racism for people of color or ableism for people who are neurodiverse or have any kind of like chronic physical ailment or an invisible disease like fibromyalgia or Crohn's. Um, I'm just very aware of the privileges that I do have being white now, and especially male privilege. Just seeing the way the differences in that I'm treated now that I am perceived as male from people. I'm much more aware of misogyny and just how disgusting and gross it is. Yeah, that's about all I have for this week. Um, so I will wrap it up now. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.